So with this summer lineman program, this tugs at my heart because my brother was one of those students who just couldn't find his way. And then he finally did outside of high school. And some of these students were that. And I'm getting emotional because some of the stories I heard at graduation were very emotional. But they did it. They made it. And so from my perspective, it was really conversations and relationships that started this. And I said, let's make it happen. We got to make it happen. So we wrote a grant for $500,000, a hefty chunk of change. And we didn't think we were going to get it.
Needle in a haystack.
And we were told we weren't going to get it. And then I called and said, we need funding. You won't give us funding to give us you numbers. And then we still need funding. And so I convinced them in probably a little bit louder phone call than should have been. And the next day they called back and said, we're going to give it to you in a different pocket of money. Yeah. And so $500,000, a lot of money, sent about 12 students through a summer lineman program. And when we got the money, I didn't believe it. Until it hit our bank accounts, I didn't think it was coming. But it did. And then we started telling the students, we didn't have much time. And so we started reaching out. We got to reach out. You got to do this. You got to do this. And nobody knew what it was. And some people thought it was a scam. And then they finally got into this school. And they get into the school and they're like, where am I? And what am I doing here? And then about halfway through the program, they started realizing that, I got something for free that's going to set me up for the rest of my life. And at the end of the program, we were told all these stories about, students who struggled in school, couldn't find their way, just like my brother. And then they were able to get this for free, no debt, walking out. They're able to raise their socioeconomic status with just one signature of a piece of paper. And so now I think about it and it's like, well, how do we duplicate that? How do we get that needle in the haystack again? Because we just changed 12 families forever. Their future families are changed forever. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. It matters what we did on that day. And so we're making changes because we saw what happened. Those students now are our best ambassadors, and they're also people that keep coming back into our lives. And we're so happy to see them. I run into them in school, and a lot of them are funny. They have a new confidence that I hadn't seen before. They stand out in a crowd. They're going to do great things in our society. They're going to be the guy that's fixing my utility pole when the power goes out and it's icy and raining, and that's coming this week. So they're going to be those guys. And I'm happy that they're there, So I'm trying to figure out how do we keep duplicating that, because, at the graduation, I was approached by mostly mothers, and they would come to me and tell me how, well, my son struggled ever since, when he was in lower grades. And in 7th grade, we found out he couldn't read, and we found out there was no help, and I just didn't know, and he couldn't find his way. And he wasn't into sports, and he didn't take those AP courses. And now he found his way. And I don't have to figure out what we're going to do to pay for college. And I don't have to figure out where I'm going to send him, and I don't have to miss him. And so it was a miracle, and now we have to try to duplicate it.